Well, we've got a full house. So, firstly, considering the World Cup's going on, and it's a Thursday night, just congratulate yourself for making an effort. Round of applause to yourselves. Good for you for investing in your career, and thank you very much for coming this evening. We really appreciate it. So I'm just going to set the scene for this evening. My name's James Ski. I'm the founder of Sales Confidence. Our vision is to build the world's largest B2B sales community, and our mission is to help salespeople at each stage of their career with their mindset, well-being, and performance. And we deliver that through a series of events that we run throughout the year. And this awards evening represents the climax of that year. This is where we celebrate you as individuals, particularly you at the SDR and SDR leader stage, who, let's be honest, you are driving the results in your business, isn't that right? Yes. Your VPs of sales, who will be here next week, wouldn't be where they are without your support. So kudos to you. So I'm going to invite one of our partners up in a moment, Elaine Tyler, the CEO and founder of Venetrix, who this wouldn't be possible without her support. Then we're going to bring up Jamie, who's the business development director of Apprentify, and you're going to learn about the power of apprenticeships in the sales profession. And then we've got 4 wonderful speakers that will each get 7 minutes, and then after there's 7 minutes, after each of the speakers has done a 7-minute talk, there will be a panel discussion where you can ask questions, and we do a little bit of a Q&A. Once that's done, we will then go through the top 50 SDRs and the top 50 SDR leaders in the UK, and we'll explain kind of how we finalised that particular list. Once that's done, you can then go and have a drink and celebrate. What I would just say, honestly, it's not easy to speak in front of 200 people. So just out of respect, put your phone on silent and just don't be talking when the speakers are up actually delivering their talks. It's something that takes a lot of preparation and confidence, which is what we're all about. So thanks again for being here. I'd like to invite Elaine up to the stage. Round of applause.
Evening, everybody.
Thank you for being here, Elaine.
My pleasure as always.
What year are we in?
I don't know, we were reminiscing before, weren't we? So we had the WeWork year, the COVID, online year.
COVID year, tough one.
This year, last time this year here, yes. And then here again. So I think we're on number 4.
We are, yes. So this is the 4th year that we put on this awards for you, and we're super, super excited. What would you like to share with the crowd, Elaine?
So I think we've had more entries than ever this year, haven't we?
We have, yes.
So it's been a really tough decision, shortlisting the top 50 for both categories.
Yep.
And I think that is really indicative of the talent that there is in the SDR market at the moment. And I was speaking to some sales leaders this week, kind of catching up with them towards the end of the year. And I was asking them their thoughts on the SDR model, how they thought it was going to develop in 2023. And they said it was a really integral part to their businesses because from the SDR hires they've made, those SDRs have gone on to become the best AEs in the business. So I thought that was real kind of testament to you guys and what you're doing out there in the SDR market right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, we know we've been there. It's graft. Your job is graft, right? It's hard. So, to have an opportunity to actually come and enjoy yourself and reflect on that, why not? Let's do it. So, we are huge champions of this industry, and as a result of the support of Venetrix and all of our partners, this has become the preeminent kind of event series in London. There are imitators out there, but this is the one you want to be at. Get that on camera, cheers. So tonight, we're going to have fun. As I said, pay attention to the speakers and enjoy yourself. We'll introduce them. So the first speaker I'd like to invite up is Jamie, who is the Business Development Director of Apprentify, and he's just going to share about the power of apprenticeships for your organisation. So we can have a round of applause for Jamie. You're on up.
Hi. Is this working? There we go. Thank you, James. There we go, we're back on. So these guys did it without any scripts. I'm kind of standing here with my things here, but hey, thankfully the other guys have got some too. We shared that before. Great turnout. A bit of a confession. I haven't done much public speaking before, so this is the first time in must have been about 6 or 7 years when I've been in front of more than maybe 5 or 6 people, and that was my wedding. My wife and her whole family were from Germany, right? And my mum voted for Brexit about 4 weeks before, so I was told don't put politics into this, so I've started well. Just a few thank yous to begin with. James, for inviting us into this community. I mean, you can see from the turnout, I've spoken to a few of you out there as well. It's a great community, some great people. The evening, great setup for this. It's going to be good fun, so thank you to them. Thank you to Vere for putting us on, and for everyone for turning up today as well. In terms of the panel as well, there's some great people there. I didn't say, Ellie, I've worked with Fresh Relevance before, so I'd be keen to pick your brains actually afterwards. So some really good people to pick things up from later too. Right, on to the second. Why am I here? Why am I stood here? I mean, I'll keep it in short. I'm here to explain exactly how Apprentify can add value and actually drive the performance of your sales teams. And it's that simple, really. In terms of who we are, you can probably tell by the name Apprentify, we provide apprenticeship training, which is a commercial model. It's a commercial training technique that links into the government, okay? What we do, the training we provide, there's 13 programs that we offer. They cover areas such as data, software, digital marketing and content, and more specifically, and very relevant for what we're doing today, sales. Okay, we have 2 programs within sales. So what's an apprentice? Are there any apprentices in the audience, just to put that out there? Okay, maybe 1 or 2. Perfect. I mean, that explains exactly why I'm here, because it's something that clearly companies aren't aware of, what you can do, what you can use, how this can benefit your businesses. We've got 8 SDRs within our company, and all 8 of them are on our sales exec program right now. So it's something that you can do, and I'll go into some of the statistics and data. Whereabouts are you guys? Right, just over there with their hands up. So please go and speak to them if you haven't already, and they can tell you what they're doing and how it's working and how it's embedding into their day-to-day. A bit of a confession from my side. I thought an apprentice, when I started at Apprentify, was someone that was maybe 16, 17 years old, just left school, looking for an internship or a part-time position. It's completely wrong. We've got about 300 learners on program right now, and over a third of them are recent graduates with first class or 2-1 degrees. So people are seeing this as an alternative to your traditional methods coming out of university. Our most mature student's 57 years old. It's not what I thought. So if anyone out there has that same preconception, please drop that and think of us more as a commercial training organization that can really accelerate the growth and the performance of your sales teams. So there are more and more young, hungry, ambitious people that are going on to apprenticeship training programs, particularly from university. And I mentioned all 8 of our SDRs are on that, so yeah, do say hello to them later if you haven't already. How does it work? What's the commercial model look like? We do this training program. They're all about 13 to 15 months. It's 95% government subsidized. So there's this centralized levy funding pot that you can use. There was a report that was over £3 billion worth in this pot of unspent levy funds back from Financial Times in July this year. Now, as a business, you can draw out 95% of the cost of the training we provide from that pot. So for a sales course, one of our courses is £12,000. That'll be £600 per learner for putting them on this program. Furthermore, if they're under the age of 25, that's a national insurance cost save as well, which is about, I think it's about 13% of their base salary. So it's effectively cost neutral or better for putting them on this program. Okay? So why Apprentify? Why use us? Because there are quite a few providers out there that can do what we do. So why Apprentify? Well, we're a virtual training provider. So everything we do is done via your laptop, your desktop. It's a blended model of e-learning modules, virtual classrooms, virtual skills coaches that we have that give time to every person we put on program. It helps you embed it and fit it into your day-to-day. You're not physically taking that apprentice out of their workspace and putting them into a learning environment 1 day a week, which is how I thought it worked when I joined the business. It's very different. Some other things about us, we're an outstanding Ofsted business. That's the highest grade you can get. There's only 6 providers that have got outstanding this year. So that puts us in the top 1.6%. We've got a 100% pass rate at endpoint assessment. We've got an 88% distinction rate and a 90% retention rate. These are all figures that compare very favorably against other providers out there. That's against an industry average of 57% for the retention. Okay? Where are we at? So, yeah, next bit. Benefits to you. Why do this? Well, first of all, it's world-class training. The syllabus that we've got, you're given a framework by the government. They say that you need to cover off all these bits in there. The syllabus we've written is by genuine and legitimate pioneers in sales that have done this for the best part of a quarter of a century. So it's a very powerful program, and it's world-class training that we can provide. Very, very good value. I've mentioned already, it's very cost-effective, almost cost-neutral for a £12,000 course. The retention rate as well, it's a retention tool. There's a recent study that said that anyone that you put, or any organisation that demonstrates a strong learning culture within their organisation has a 30 to 50% retention increase. So if you put your best SDRs onto our training, then there's a very high chance that you're going to secure and you're going to, I don't want to say lock in, but you're going to encourage your best young talent to remain within the business going forward. Hence the 90% retention that we have as well. And ultimately results. Because sales is about results, right? So to give you some idea of results, I mentioned we've got 8 of our SDRs at Apprentify. In October, I'll just make sure I got these numbers right, because they differ. I think we're going to beat this in November, which is good. We hit over, guys, tell me if I've got any of this wrong, by the way, just shout at me, I don't mind, I won't be offended. We'd had 10,000 plus qualified outbound outreaches to net new logo clients, 156 net new logo meetings that were secured with a 73% attendance rate off the back of those meetings. And that's from SDRs with about 7 to 8 months on average experience within our team. So it's a powerful program. The pipeline we've got off that is great. Some of the clients include the likes of, and forget this for, I probably shouldn't say this, but anyway, Man United, AstraZeneca, HSBC, Crystal Palace. You know, we're talking big companies here and important people at these organizations. It works. So the statistics are there. So in summary, in terms of the context of the sales confidence community, that's why we're here. We're here because when I asked how many apprentices out there, there was 1 or 2 people put their hand up. It's clearly something people aren't aware of. Think of us not as an apprenticeship provider, but we're a sales excellence provider. We're a training provider that can supercharge the performance of your SDR teams, and we can do it for a net neutral cost as well. And it's something that people don't know about. So yeah, again, thank you, James, for inviting us to be along. Thanks to everyone for attending. Come and find me if you've got any questions later, and hopefully that's useful.
Thanks very much, Jamie.
Cool.
Cheers, mate. Yeah. Thank you. Clearly, there's an opportunity here to support the next generation. So up next, our first 7-minute speaker. So we've got Grace Corby, who's the SDR manager. How do I pronounce it? Hakodo. I should have practiced that. Hakodo, and the team are here. Where's the rest of the Hakodo team? There we go. Here in support, good stuff. So she's going to be talking about SDR paths to progression and how to stay on track. Just to give a little bit of a background, she was actually a teacher before moving into the sales profession. So she's obviously invested in supporting and developing her people. And this year she recently joined to head up the team as the head of the SDR function and manages teams across London and Paris. She's got 7 minutes. First speaker, round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the intro, James. It's an absolute privilege to be asked to speak here tonight, especially alongside so many amazing salespeople and sales leaders. So thank you. And also, big thanks to our co-host, Elaine, because without Venetrix helping me find my first SDR role, I probably wouldn't be standing here this evening. So thank you. So there's 2 key points that I'm going to talk about tonight. The first is for our SDRs in the room. How do you identify the right career path for you? And what do you do to help yourself stay on track? And the second point is for our SDR leaders and our aspiring leaders in the room. How do you create a framework or a career progression framework that really enables your team to do better and to level up and to get promoted? So as James mentioned briefly there, I did spend the first 4 years of my career as a secondary school teacher. And most people are quite confused, like, why did you go from teaching into sales? It's a bit strange. As a sales leader, there's so many similarities. So both are very target-driven. Both rely on the performance of your team as a marker for your success. And both require a lot of planning, training, coaching, mentoring, and that's the part that I'm going to talk about this evening. So first up, over to our SDRs. What can you do to really help yourself stay on track? I don't know about all of you, but when I first started out as an SDR, I joined a fast-growing startup. I was about the 5th or 6th SDR there, and there was very little career progression framework in place at the time. I didn't have one-to-ones. I didn't really know where the next step was. And it can be quite daunting to begin with, but it's a great opportunity to really take control of your career development and work out what path is right for you. As an SDR, we all know the first thing we've got to do is smash our target month in, month out, make it repeatable, and really know our job like the back of our hand. But once you're doing that, month in, month out, you'll start to look to the next thing. And there's so many options here. So lots of people go into closing roles and think that that is kind of the only option. I've seen SDRs go into RevOps roles, customer success, partnerships, marketing, leadership roles, like I did. There's so many options out there. And if you're sitting here this evening unsure about what's the right role for you or what career path you want, I'd really recommend spend some time shadowing other people in your organization, see what their day-to-day looks like, and really learn a bit more about their roles, and talk to your managers about what you want to do. If you're unsure, tell them you're unsure. Let them help you find the right career path for you. You can only really identify it through communication. Now, over to our SDR managers. Once your SDRs know what they want to do, how do you enable them to get there? I was reading a Bridge Group report a couple of weeks ago, which mentioned that the average tenure of an SDR was just 18 months. It's not very long. And that's one of the biggest obstacles that we face as sales leaders, that really high attrition of SDRs. And the best way to overcome it is to give your SDRs a clear framework, mapped out. They know what they need to achieve. They know they've got progression within your company, and they are able to hit targets and move forward. So this is actually one of the first tasks I was given when I joined Connaught earlier this year. I was lucky enough to inherit a really high-performing team with some long-standing SDRs that were ready to be promoted. So I spoke to the team and first of all understood where they wanted to go. And our top performers were most interested in closing roles. So that's the career path that I prioritized mapping out. It would be great to do everything at once, but it's not always possible. So I started with that, and I looked at what the top AEs were doing, where their skills were, what training they had had, and I worked backwards to create a framework where that essentially mapped out the skills, the additional responsibilities, the pay rise, which I think we all care about, and the targets that would go alongside a promotion. So at that point, a massive Excel document, which are more than, I could talk about it all evening, but I think I'll just say, if you're interested in seeing it, reach out to me afterwards. Happy to share it with you, and you can take a look. But once I'd mapped out all of the skills that we needed, I broke the team into 3 levels. So we had our SDRs, our senior SDRs, our associate AEs, and our AEs. And I created a clear framework and criteria that you had to hit in order to move to the next level. And I did that by thinking about what conversion rate they needed to get, how many months in a row they needed to hit target, what activities they needed to do, and how accurately they needed to be able to forecast. So what are my key takeaways for this evening? As an SDR manager, don't try and reinvent the wheel. Look at the resources that you've got in your company and in your network. We're sat here tonight with, 200 amazing salespeople. I'm sure lots of us in the room have our own progression frameworks. Let's share them and look at each other's. Look at what you've got in your company and use that as your basis to work from. Or you can go and speak with Jamie, because I'm sure he'll have some great frameworks for you. As an SDR, take control of your own career progression, talk to your manager, communicate openly, and use the people in your network to find out what other roles look like. And finally, progression isn't linear. It doesn't always go from one role to the next. So stick with it, work out what you want to do, and communicate, and you will get there. My final bit is a little bit cheeky here, I'm sorry. What am I on, 8.5? I am hiring, so if you've enjoyed hearing a little bit about what we're developing at Hakodo, please come have a chat with me later. I've got headcount for 2 SDRs, ASAP, come have a chat.
Give it up for Grace, everybody. Thanks so much for sharing that, Grace.
Yes.
Some excellent insights there. It's now my pleasure to introduce the next speaker. So we're now going to be hearing, guys, we're now going to be hearing from Rob Byrne, who is the Sales Development Manager for EMEA at SalesLoft, and he's going to be talking through why happiness is the misunderstood pillar to a successful SaaS career. Described as a child of the SaaS industry, grown up through the SaaS industry. There you go. Maybe you are a child of the SaaS industry. He started working as an outbound BDR 10 years ago and has worked his way through all of the primary sales roles at SaaS giants like Oracle, Salesforce, and Adobe before moving to set up the sales development functions for Yext and now SalesLoft. Rob's passion for management comes from making sure that everybody finds their unique skill set and helping them to land on the right career path for them. Let's give it up for Rob.
Thanks a million, Elaine. I like to think I am a child of SaaS. So guys, happiness is an emotional state defined by the feelings of joy, satisfaction, content, and fulfillment. But if we look at this concept, it's different for everyone in this room. What makes us happy? If we think about SaaS sales, I think it's really misunderstood what makes you happy in a career that is so fulfilling and enjoyment. For me, I'm consistently hearing from people saying, Rob, I'm only going to be happy if I hit my target. I'm only going to be happy if I see 100% in the CRM, I get my name called out in all hands, I get that juicy paycheck to buy that thing I definitely don't need, but definitely want. But that's not the reality. If we look at it, we need to create a sustainable way to stay happy in such a difficult market. For example, Forrester predicted in June this year that 2/3 of SaaS people are going to miss their number. And if you add in what's happened in the last couple of months about inflation or exchange rate being as low as it's ever been since the 1987 crash, I predict that's probably going to be lower. So what do we do? Now, you might look at me and go, Rob, I'm not going to be one of these people. I'm going to hit my target. But then you also come up with the aftermath of what I call the sales highs, which is when you do hit your target, which happens 90% of the time in the last month of the quarter or last day of the month, despite all our management begging, and I'm looking directly at my own team, you better not next week, you get this 24-hour high of, yeah, I hit my target. Or on the other side of it, you get actually relief. Now, I put this down to, I probably hold the record at Salesforce for the latest deal ever coming in at 11:58 p.m. on the 31st of January, and it was a multi-figure deal with 6 people. We all literally, no one could, that 7 hours of trying to get the contract over was pain. So what do? Do we just say that we're going to be unhappy, or do we look for an answer? For me, turning into a manager, I really had to find this because I struggled so hard as an IC, carrying nearly every single target you could imagine. But how could I take my team and make them successful? How could I create this happiness culture that everyone wants to be there and work there and enjoy what they do? Now, I'm a very big believer in, I'm not have the right answer, but I'll always believe in someone who does. So after a lot of research, the person I went to was a guy called Mo Gatwit. He's the author of Solve for Happiness. But Mo is probably one of the most phenomenal people I've ever heard in sales. After setting up Microsoft in the Middle East, he then went on to be the chief business officer of Google X. Now, for those of you who don't know what Google X is, Google X's job is to come up with the most life-changing products that Google could ever come with. And they created the concept of the moonshot, which means any project this division did, it had the same odds of us landing someone on the moon in 1960. So this is a man who is exceptionally smart. However, like all of us in the world, Mo went through these times of, I've hit that target, I have everything in the world. But then he also went through some really dark times where unfortunately 4 small mistakes in an operation that has a 98% success rate result in the loss of his 21-year-old son. So he went about going about, how do I define happiness? How do I create cultures of happiness? And how can I take this message and share it in honor of my son? And for me, he came up with a framework that has 3 key elements that I'm going to share with you guys tonight. First, Mo went down the street and he decided, I'm going to create an equation. He created the happiness equation. Well done, Mo, in marketing. Took you a long time, happiness equation. Woo. But happiness equation is defined by the events of your life minus your expectation of how that behaves. Now, this is kind of straightforward. We've all heard that phrase of glass half full and kind of went, yeah. But if you look at his framework and go into far more detail, it focuses on the psychology behavior technique of cognitive thinking, of ABC, which is used with patients of depression to overcome the obstacles in their mind. Now, if we look at this in the sales, I'm not saying we're all depressed. We know we go through that pressure. But it's really about understanding this theory, checking events that happen in our life, and understanding that we have to accept the pressure that comes with this multi-billion-dollar industry we all work in, and see pressure as a challenge, not a threat. I say this when I've had so many times an AE, an SDR, or BDRs come to me on the second day of a quarter and go, Rob, I'm screwed. It's not happening. No way I'm hitting my chance. Think bigger. Understand that in your mind, you control your thoughts. Emotions are not out of our control. You have to paint the bigger picture. Know your emotions, know your success, one day by a time, and you'll get there. Now, this is great when you're looking at that negative thought that's going to absorb your mind about how you're going to go through that. But Mo's version goes, well, let's not just wait to be happy. Let's inject happiness into our life to create sustainability so it's not an event at the end of a road. The way he did this was coming up with what he called the happiness list. Again, Mo's on fire with marketing. He could sell anything. But the way with the happiness list is genuinely things in your life, on a Google shot, on an Evernote, whatever you want, 10 things that make you happy in life. Now, when I say you should do this, I don't mean you guys go off and say, a coffee makes me happy. I want you going off and going, that coffee in Soho by that barista that's really bougie, that costs me twice as much, right, gets my name wrong just for the Instagram shot. I want specifics on that list, right? Because that's the only way you truly know the way to happiness. If you think about it and you're looking at it as a map theory, 2 years ago, we all worked for companies that we all worked remotely. We never knew where the office was. We're like, okay, cool. We typed into Google, we followed it intently, went on tube lines and things like that. It was difficult, but we had to pay attention. Nowadays, I would recommend that, I would suggest that everyone in this room close their eyes and get to their office without even trying, because they know the route. Sales confidence, health and safety, do not try. Just saying that out there. But it's the same with happiness. You have to know how to get there and you have to make it simple. What I would say then to all the managers in this room is, if your individuals are doing this, use it as an exercise for your team. Your job as a manager is to create a happiness culture, but you're not a mind reader. We always talk about this, how do you motivate our team? I've Googled so many times what spiffs I can do next to do this. By doing this exercise, you identify patterns amongst your team to understand what's going well. Prime example, I saw on my team, half them love running. Don't know what's wrong with them, but half them do. And we're going to sign up to like a Tough Mudder next year. But this exercise allowed me to understand that, allowed me to make a culture that people want to be there. Finally, I would say the third part of this framework is that you have to employ it. It takes 18 days to create a habit. But so you have to think about how you inject this into your life. As I said, there's no point just thinking I'm going to be happy. You have to put it in your day. You all have the right to be happy. You have the right to enjoy what you do as a living. So what I would say is that we're all being so disciplined with our calendars, being like, day ones at this time, emails at this time, calls at this time. Put in time to go to that happiness, to bring yourself up. Now, obviously how back these things is, and another book that suggests this is by Sean Anker, The Happiness Advantage. He did analysis on 1,000 sellers in the top 500 fortunes, and he identified that people that could create this happiness state, sustain it during a sales cycle, had a 37% chance of being more successful. So if you think about it, each one of you is a professional. Just like an athlete, just like anything, what's your advantage? Why not make it happiness? Why not make what you do in an industry that offers you so many routes being happy versus dreading the idea of getting up on a Monday morning? So I'll leave you this, right? 3 prospects of the framework. 1, happiness equation. Events that happen in your life and how you behave them. Understand it. 2, create that list. Go to it, use it, leverage it, enjoy it. 3, put that habit in. Make sure you consistently do it, because at the end of the day, what's the point? If we want to be in a career that we truly embrace, that we truly get the most out of it, why not use happiness as our advantage? Thank you.
Incredibly thoughtful topic and talk from Rob. Look forward to diving deeper. So our next speaker is Ellie Emerson, who is the Head of Sales Development from Fresh Relevance. She's going to be talking about understanding the 4 Fs and why they are key for success. So in terms of her background, she spent a number of years traveling the world as part of the Women's Tennis Association before taking the leap into the SaaS world. She actually also landed her first role through Venetrix in 2020, quickly moved from an SDR to a team lead, and now she's responsible for the sales development function at Fresh Relevance, which is a MarTech SaaS platform working across e-commerce brands to create personalization across different channels. She's got a top-performing group of people in her team. She's one of the individuals I've heard spoken about a lot this year, so it's great that we could get her on the stage. Here she is. Round of applause. Ellie, you're up.
Hello. Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah? Awesome. Perfect. So, as James mentioned, we have got 7 minutes. So 7 minutes to leave you with something actionable that you can take away from today and hopefully put into practice in some capacity. So, rather than tell you my life story or lecture you about the importance of relevancy in your emails, instead, I'm going to talk to you about the 4 Fs when it comes to motivation and why I believe understanding these is integral to your success. The SDR role is becoming harder and harder than ever, even since I did it. If the global pandemic wasn't challenging enough, we are now heading into a recession that's apparently set to last a couple of years. So we have got our work cut out. It's not just as simple as picking up the phone anymore. If you've been in SaaS longer than approximately 5 minutes, I'm sure you will have heard of the likes of Josh Braun, Will Allred, Morgan Ingram, to name a few. And your LinkedIn feeds will likely be inundated with 10 ways to break through the noise, or whether you should try a permission-based opener, or what have you. My biggest piece of advice is to take everything that you see or read with a pinch of salt. And the reason I say that is because what works for me in my industry versus what works for you in yours are likely to be entirely different. Instead, I would urge you to think of prospecting like a science experiment. You should be changing one variable at a time. And reason being is, if you don't do this, you have absolutely no way of measuring what it is, in fact, that's working versus what's not. Remember, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So definitely don't be afraid to switch things up and try something new, but remember to always be patient. So, what on earth are the 4 Fs and what am I talking about? I find that in sales, people tend to be motivated by one, if not more, of 4 different things. Does anyone want to hazard a guess of what those are? My team, please be quiet. It's 4 Fs. But love that. Love that. Yeah. Money, that's, again, still not an F. Come on, guys. I know we work in sales, but we still have brains. Come on. Finance, kind of. Focus. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Oh, hello. Here we are, Gabby Orlich. Okay, I want you to ask yourself this. What are you motivated by? Why do you do this job? And it's not just because you got a 2-2, okay? Sorry. Some of us got 2-1s. The answers to these questions are really, really important for SDR managers to understand and get to grips with too. Because if you've hired correctly, your team will be entirely different, and as such will be motivated by different things and therefore will require different management approaches, okay? So, first off, funnily enough, it begins with an F, fear. So, are you scared of failure, perhaps? Do you hit target because you are quite simply terrified of what might happen if you don't? If this is you, you probably spend a considerable amount of the month stressing about underperforming. And whilst I do believe this sort of fear culture has probably diminished in recent years, it is still prevalent. So whilst being motivated by fear does in fact work for some people, I would urge you to ask yourself, is this really right for you? Are you in the, working in the right sort of working culture for you? Then second, we've got fame. So do you like your name up in big bright lights? Do you like being the best? Do you like seeing yourself as first place on the leaderboard? Do you like winning? If the answer to these questions is yes, then you are most likely motivated in some capacity by fame. And then the big one, fortune. I'd hazard a guess that most people in this room are motivated by fortune. So money. That's what drives you. You like the fact that you get those commission checks. You like being able to recognize how much money you earn on a monthly basis. You like feeling that sense of accomplishment. And then lastly, we have family, which does tie in quite closely to fortune, but there's a bigger picture here. You're not doing it for you. You're doing it for your kids, if you're old enough to have them. You're doing it for your mum. You might want to buy her a car, or whatever it might be. So, understanding what motivates you, and for the SDR managers in the room, understanding what motivates your team is so crucial for you to be able to get the most out of both yourself and your team. Because then you can really start to kind of mold and shape the way that you practice your one-to-ones, so that you're kind of making sure that you're setting your team up for success in every way. Take my team, for instance, who are all sat here in this very room, and they are a wonderful bunch. They pay me to say that. They're all motivated by very different things. There are 4 of them in particular that are hugely motivated by fortune. So we take a competition, we add a monetary reward, and it is incredible what that does to team morale, team incentive, and team performance. One quarter this year, we were particularly close to target. It was kind of all touch and go, all hands on deck. But these sorts of kind of mini competitions really made the difference for us and really helped us with hitting that target. What's important to note here, though, is that not everybody on my team is motivated by fortune. And therefore, I cannot rely on this solely by itself to get the most out of everyone. I have to constantly be thinking of different ways that are going to motivate each individual on my team. The SDR manager role has changed so much in the last 5 to 10 years. It's far less about control and much more about support, or it should be. Sales has in the past had a really bad rep of being purely a numbers game. But I am a firm believer that you get more with honey than you do with vinegar. Take the time to fully understand your team and put a plan in place to ensure that you are setting them up to succeed. We are no longer just managers. We are cheerleaders. We are coaches, confidants, therapists, motivators. And even a successful team will begin to crumble without that successful leadership. So remember, ultimately, SDR managers, you are the glue that holds it all together. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much for that, Ellie. Some fabulous insights there. So now time to introduce our final speaker of the evening. So we're going to be hearing from Philipp Schwedthelm, who is the Sales Development Manager for Confluent, with his speech, hello, plan your work and work your plan. So at Confluent, Philipp has worked as both an inbound and outbound SDR for the Central Europe. And over the last year and a half, he's been managing the enterprise outbound SDRs, growing the team from 3 to 10. Take it away, Philipp.
Hi everyone, and first of all, thanks to James and Sales Confidence and all the sponsors for organizing this event. I joined Confluent 3 years ago as an inbound SDR, moved into the outbound role, and for the last 1.5 years, I manage our enterprise outbound team for Central EMEA and Southern EMEA. Before I started in sales, I was actually competing as a cyclist. And I always had to plan my season for different kind of events. One of my hardest races was a race across Europe, 4,000 kilometers in 12 days, and I prepared and planned for this race for over a year. You probably wonder now, why do I tell you about cycling at a sales event? As an athlete, I really learned how to plan a season and focus on the things I can control. And this, I believe, really helped me as an SDR to be successful. And now I pass this on as a manager to my SDRs. And 2 of my team are here. They can probably confirm that I always ask them to plan their quarter ahead. I believe everyone in this room here knows the situation. It's the first of the quarter. You look at your dashboard and everything is back to zero. And I personally believe that is one of the hardest things as an SDR. You try 3 months your best to hit your target, and then it all resets and you have to do it all over again. For some of us, this can actually cause stress and even anxiety. Or you might think, I have 3 months time to figure out how I hit my target and don't care about it. I want to give you actually 4 reasons why you should make a plan today, and why you should plan your quarter. Number 1, planning reduces uncertainty and increases your confidence. Focus on things you can control, such as your activity and input. If you reflect previous quarters and you understand your individual numbers, how many calls you need to do or how many emails you need to send to book a meeting, and how many of these meetings convert into opportunities. Then, if you understand the numbers, what works for you, this will definitely boost your confidence and gives you a direction what you need to do. Second, planning breaks your big targets into smaller pieces. At the beginning of the quarter, it can be overwhelming to think about how many opportunities you source and how many more meetings you need to book. But if at the beginning of the quarter you look at how many working days you actually have to achieve your target, and then break your targets into weekly goals, this is much easier to comprehend. Completing these weekly goals will also give you small wins throughout the quarter. If you are ambitious, increase your weekly goals slightly and try to aim to hit your target 1 or 2 weeks early. My team knows exactly how many meetings and opportunities they need to book on a weekly base, and we constantly check this if we are pacing ahead of our target or fall behind and need to adjust our plan. Number 3, planning increases your credibility. A good plan will not only help you to achieve your target, but it's also a good way to earn credibility. Discuss your plan with your manager and demonstrate that you own your business and understand what you need to do to hit your target. As an SDR manager, I believe your ability to guide through this planning process will determine how successful you and also your team will be. Last point, planning equals more peace of mind. Sales is a competitive environment, and it's constantly chasing your targets, which can trigger stress, especially when you're behind target and have only like 1 or 2 weeks left. But if you know what you're working towards on a weekly basis, and you have everything thought through and trust your plan, you will have less stress. Part of this is also planning your holiday early and have something to look forward to. I heard SDRs saying that they can't take holidays because they are worried about missing their targets. But to perform on high level, it's very important to recharge regularly. Using my comparison with sports and cycling earlier, every athlete has rest days. And I think it's our responsibility as SDR managers to make sure that our reps take holiday, recharge, without worrying too much about their targets. I want to share 2 recent examples from my team. Q3 is usually a challenging quarter, especially for my reps in southern EMEA. In Spain, Italy, and France, it's not uncommon that companies close for 4 weeks and prospects don't respond. My Italian SDR was actually beginning of the quarter worried about her targets and unsure if she can take holiday. We made a plan. She booked 2 weeks holiday in August, and her plan was to focus on July and September. She took 2 weeks holiday. She missed her target in August, but still overachieved for the quarter and was the top performing SDR in EMEA with 130% of her target. This quarter, 6 of my 10 reps are actually on a ramping target. So we have a heavily backloaded quarter with the highest target in December. We knew this at the beginning, that December will be a short month. With Christmas coming up, more and more prospects are postponing meetings to next year, and AEs are more and more focused on bringing in the final deals for the year. We had a plan to start really strong into the quarter, and I'm super proud that actually before I left today and I updated my dashboard, we hit our PG target 1 month before the end of the quarter. I believe the time you spend thinking ahead and planning your activities will be time well spent. It will give you more control over your targets, reduces stress, and will make you more successful. We have actually 21 working days before Christmas. If you don't have a plan as an SDR for the last weeks of the quarter and you don't drink too much tonight, spend a couple of minutes tomorrow morning to think about how you plan to finish this year really strong. And if you are ahead of your target or have hit your target already, think about next year. Make a plan how you want to smash your targets. Thank you very much.
Good job. Thank you very much. Can I get all the speakers up on the stage, please? All the speakers, Jamie included, can we come up on the stage? So that was our final 7-minute talk. Now we're going to open up for questions, and then we're going to go into the top 50 countdown, and then we can get back in and have a beer. So thank you very much for that. You all look much more relaxed and relieved, so good job. I'm just curious. Bit of a giveaway. Just the first question to warm it up before we go to the crowd. Clearly, these SDRs going for a drink, not SDR leaders. The first question is, all of you, did all of you come from an SDR stage before you became an SDR leader? Yeah. I'm actually curious what motivated you to go from SDR to SDR leadership. Who wants to take that first question?
Yep.
Hello. For me, I think I took a big step back in my career when I initially kind of started as an SDR. I had 5 years commercial experience working in professional sport. I worked in cricket and then I worked in tennis. So I was used to managing people. I loved managing people. I actually wanted to be a school teacher when I was younger, but realised there was no money in it, so didn't. So yeah, for me, I landed my first SDR job through Venetrix. I actually, fun fact, was only an SDR for 8 months. Including being a team lead. So I progressed really, really quickly. Part of that was luck. Part of it, hopefully, was skill. But yeah, for me, it was always what I wanted to do. I really enjoy watching other people do well, and I really enjoy the challenge of taking someone that's underperforming and then getting them to the stage where they can perform. My brother also works in SaaS and has had a really interesting career in terms of the different managers that he's had. So I really wanted to be a good manager. I've never really had like a really, really good manager. And hopefully, you'll have to ask my team later and I'm not listening. I'm a good manager. So yeah, that was my ambition.
I'm back up. So good. For me, it was, if I look back when I was an SDR back in 2013, it was a very different time and there was just significant amounts of hard lessons that I had to learn. And when I got to the stage where I had the opportunity to one, the reason I jumped on it was I didn't want people going through those hard times that I do. There's one of the prime examples I always say is when I think everyone's guilty, they DM the manager they want to go work for, they sit in a meeting in front of 15 minutes and they go, okay, tell me how to be on your team. Where one of the things I work with people and I've always overcome is like the second before you have that meeting, I want you walking in being like, this is what I'm doing, this is my plan, this is how I'm progressing, tell me I'm wrong. So things like that were things I wished I had. And now that I'm in a position that I can stop people making the mistakes, going through these hard times, the disappointments really kind of brings me satisfaction and knows that I'm doing something right.
Great. I'm going to open up the questions, so get them in front of your mind and we'll open up the questions in a moment. Ellie, just remind us, what were the 4 Fs? Fame? Fear.
Fame, fortune, family.
Which F most motivates you? Who's going first?
Fortune.
I mean, I used to be a school teacher, so as Ellie says, we all know why I'm here.
Mine now would be family.
Family, okay.
It's got to be fame because I'm up here.
Fortune, I think. Fortune.
Fortune it is, okay. Oh.
If this is recorded, I need to say family as well in case my wife and my kids see it.
Good shout, good shout. Edit that bit in, please. So put your hands up, come on, you're all in sales. Who's got the first question? Yes, do you want to just stand up and introduce yourself and shout?
I'm an SDR manager for like history. My question is, I guess off the back of your section, Chris, I think you're so right when it comes to coaching and plans are so important for SDR, like no one can coach SDR forever. Get my northern accent now, hopefully.
Good.
I'll just shout. So I think as part of that, that's super important. I come from one world where it's corporate, it's got your coaching plans and they can follow that. And I've come from another world where it's more of a startup and I was creating that, so massive kudos to you for creating that as well. I guess my question is, as we go into next year and there's companies that are just wanting to stay afloat, which means naturally progression and promotions aren't always there. What is your advice to SDRs who are in a position where, like, I'm ready to get promoted, but there's not a role there? How do I stay engaged? And as an SDR manager, how do you keep that team engaged, knowing there's not going to be a role there, but not knowing when it's going to come up?
Who wants to take that first?
It was for Grace.
I think it's so true what you say. It's difficult to keep people motivated if they don't see a role open in that next team and that next step for them. I think the first thing I would say, as an SDR, if you're hitting your target repeatedly or going over target, you're probably earning bloody good money and getting a lot of commission, and it's quite a good place to be. And if you move into an AE role, it's probably going to take you a couple of months to start closing deals and actually start earning the same money and same commission that you are as a top performing SDR. So that's my first point. Like, it's not a bad place just to stay and enjoy it. It's predictable, it's reliable, and you've got a lot of control. When you really get those itchy feet and you know you want the next step, there are so many ways to develop people. through professional development, external courses. What can you offer them outside of that traditional, this is your new title and this is your pay rise? If that's a no-go with your company because of the recession and things that are happening, then look at the external training, look at how you can develop them in other ways, and try and keep them motivated. Is there additional responsibility that they can take on? Can they work more closely with different teams and still be learning? But it's a difficult one, because I completely get it. If you feel like you've been somewhere for a few years, we all want to progress, we all want to move on. So.
Anybody got a point to add yet, Jamie?
I think that ties in really nicely to some of the lessons that were addressed in some of the speeches here, in that firstly, understand what makes you happy. Why are you doing it? Yeah. Understand what makes you happy and target and focus on what makes you happy. And the other thing as well that was picked up in one of these speeches is know about the variables you can control and focus on those you can control. Those that you can't, don't put too much stress and time on that. If you focus on the things that you can, that will add up and it'll get you through the hard times and it'll deliver you into something better at the end of it. So they're areas that these guys covered very nicely.
Thank you, Jamie. Great question. Next question, over this side. Go on, stand up.
Hi guys, I'm Alex. I'm the guy who said recognition for the 4Fs. My question's for Rob actually. So I've just joined a new company. We've started running some cadences with SalesLoft. And I was speaking to a lot of my colleagues, and because of the cadences, they're going for the whole mass email approach rather than personalisation. And I was wondering, in your opinion, where the right balance is between mass emails and personalisation. And after Rob answers, I'd like to open up to all you, because you're all sales leaders. Thank you.
Cool. For those who don't use SalesLoft, a cadence is basically a program that you follow in order of sequence of steps. So it's like multi-touch, when you should send, things like that. And for me, I think when people think about personalization and what personalization is, they get really confused and think they have to write the Wikipedia page of the person they're prospecting, where I think it's really about understanding that person you're speaking to, which can be really easy personalized. If we think about it, if most people have heard about the MEDDIC framework, when you pitch someone, M1 is the value that your company has proven before, M2 is the value that you're projecting that your company can do for this company. But I think you have to understand M3, which is the person you're selling to, what's in it for them. So when you're going through enablement and you learn about your personas, understand the personas in this, say, of what is that person's interest, what do they do for the business, how do they succeed? And that, if you can understand those persona types of the market you're going for, it's really easy to generate a one-liner. For example, I'm talking to reps, sales directors in SalesLoft, and I'm turning around going, your strategy number one was hiring to get more reps, to get more sales. Now you can't hire, what are you going to do? If you understand those personas, it makes personalization so much easier, so you can get out at scale, because the rest of it's going to be the same pitch of this is what we do, this is how we help. So that's where I kind of think about, don't think about it as it's personalized versus scale, it's how quick can I do personalization.
Anybody want to add anything?
Yeah, I will. I don't know if my mic's working, but I'll have to. I would actually argue that relevancy is more important than personalization. And what I mean by that is a lot of people will focus on cadences that are built around a persona, i.e. for us it might be like a CRM manager or an e-com manager. The issue with that is that you can't scale it without mass personalization. So if you focus on what's relevant, i.e. think about your compelling event, think about your trigger, what's your reason for reaching out to that person, likelihood is that there'll be buckets of relevancy. So you might have 5 or 6 that are very common within your business. I would build a cadence around that reason to reach out, because then you can put people in cadences based on reasons to reach out. I'm reaching out to you because of X, Y, Z. Obviously wouldn't write that, but you know what I mean? The reason is built around that reason to reach out. Personalization with no relevancy is going to do more harm to your reply rates than no personalization at all. There's no point writing hey Ellie, I saw you have a mini Dachshund, I have one too, hee hee. Anyway, blah blah blah. I'm not gonna read that because it's not relevant to me at all. Maybe put that as a PS. PS, Parker's really cute, and then I'll know that you went on my LinkedIn and you saw that I posted loads of pictures of my dog. But I wouldn't lead with that personalization. For me, it's about relevancy, making sure it's relevant. Am I going to open this and it's going to speak to me? Because then it doesn't really matter, and you can scale it on a bigger level. That's what I would say.
Thanks. Good answers. Next question.
Hi, I'm Rachel from Venetrix. So I'm really curious to know what your steepest learning curve has been as an SDR manager, and then how you overcame that and then kind of instilled that knowledge in your own SDRs yourself.
Takers?
You're from Venetrix, right? My steepest learning curve as a manager was actually hiring, interviewing and hiring, to put a lot of focus on until most recently we didn't work with any external recruiters, so but we used you recently. So, but that was a really steep learning curve, moving from an SDR where you don't have exposure to interviews apart the ones you have done, asking the right questions, challenge people, find out their motivation, why they want to join, and stuff like this. Yeah, this was for me this biggest learning curve.
Anybody else? Cool. Someone from the... Sorry, someone... Moving on. Who's got a question from back here? Go on, stand up. Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm James Thompson. I work for a company called Databook, and it's very nice to meet you all in person as well. So my question is pretty straightforward. I just wanted to understand from all of you, what do you define as a key characteristic for someone that's going to be a kind of a rockstar BDR or SDR, for example?
Yeah, nice question. Oh, good question. Who's got the first response?
I start. For me, it's super important to be curious, and there are two things I mean with this. One is, as an SDR, just constantly learning and your messaging to improve, but also the technology. I work for Confluent, which is a super technical product, and this product is constantly evolving. So curiosity to learn this, but also curiosity in regards to asking the right questions in a discovery call. Why this person should talk to us, or why we might be a good fit for this company that they will buy from us. So,
for me, and I think my team will probably know what I'll say, is CRM hygiene. Just be clean. Do not lose your leads. Know who you're prospecting. Keep your lists there. Just know who they are. Don't let leads fall through the cracks. It's so easy to do. And then you're just making a rod for your own back. So if you've got a messy pipeline, first thing tomorrow morning, clean it.
Love that. For me, it's probably two things. The first being sort of like silent determination. If I look at my entire team, I would say that all of them have that. It's just like an absolute hunger and desire to succeed. And the second one is proactivity. So not necessarily being reactive and waiting for, lists to land on your lap, or relying on an inbound, or hoping that you might have 10 MQLs because they're non-existent at the moment. So being proactive and going out and searching, coming up with new ideas, thinking outside the box, and never giving up. That kind of hunger, I suppose.
I would say for me, it's preparation. You'd be surprised about, at sales off, we don't hire graduate, we hire people who've come from previous roles, and I would argue 40% of them come into this interview where they actually don't look at my LinkedIn and ask, where have you come from? And I kind of go, well, you're about to do your prospecting job and you haven't even looked. But if you think about it from a point of view of, if you come into this and think about 8 Mile, you generally do have one shot speaking to people. Those reps who go in and know exactly what they're speaking about, know exactly what their pitch is, know exactly why we're in this room, they get the job done. So those reps who then go, I'm going to do loads of calls and prospects, and then I'm going to jump on a call quickly, it's not going to work.
I'm going to go old school and new school. So I think old school, resilience, right? It's tough. It's going to be a tough gig at times. So you just got to be resilient, have faith in the process and go through it. In terms of new school, I think a couple of different ones. One, originality. So do something different to what the other people out there are doing. Capture your audience. Make yourself memorable. And the other one's probably a bit of a surprising one, I'd say, is humility. So be someone that's actually people buy into, they want to talk to, they trust in you, they have faith in you, and don't defy that trust. Do what they want you to do and help them do that. If you have that humility with the resilience as well, and you can get that blend correctly, I think you'll be a rock star, definitely.
Speakers will hang around in the networking, so there'll be an opportunity to ask more questions. Can we have a final round of applause to all the speakers, please? Good job. Brad, can you do me a favour, help with this table? Vitaly, just fit the... on that side of the thing. Careful, because they will move. Okay, this is the final 5 minutes before we get back to beers. This is what you've all been waiting for. Guys, careful. Steady on.
Where the ladies is just there.
Thanks, Elaine. Okay. Good work, Brad. Just there on the corner, like tilted a little bit. Yeah, brilliant. Well, they look good. So SDRs are this side. SDRs. We give everyone a go. Cheers, mate. Okay. All right, listen up, everybody. Can we get your attention? Last 5-10 minutes, and then we can all go have a beer or do whatever you want to do. Thursday's date night, actually, isn't it? Anybody got a date after this event? Just curious. Congratulations and good luck. Okay, so again, well done for all your patience, and thank you for respecting the speakers and paying attention. So just in terms of how we've run this process, Sales Confidence has been going just over 5 years, and this is the 6th year for sales leaders. Next week, so your leaders will be in this room where we celebrate the top 50 leaders, and that's what really kind of set the prestige of running a top 50 list in the UK. And then 4 years ago, Elaine and I got together and started thinking, well, we need to celebrate the SDR. They're more important than the SDR leader. No, I'm joking, SDR leaders in the room. But then we realised the SDR leadership role and the SDR management, which is many of you in the room, has just become so critical to the success of developing the next generation. Without your SDR managers supporting you, you're just not going to be developing as quickly as you could. So we basically kind of start gathering nominations in the summer. We've had over 1,000 nominations for individuals that are listed on this, and basically, to be featured, there's a couple of key components. One, you got to be nominated. 2, we look at and kind of analyse what's collectively been said, and then we start speaking to the leaders, actually. And so I have a group of people that we give a kind of a first look and get a perspective. So, it's not just about being the top performer in your business. Sales confidence is a lot more than that. We talk about caring about mindset, well-being, and performance. And we feel, Elaine and I, and those others that had a look at it, these represent the top 50 SDRs and the top 50 SDR leaders in the UK. So with that being said, we're literally just going to fire off the names. If you see yourself listed, come up onto the stage, and we're just going to give you a gold envelope, which is just a recognition of thanks. And then we will invite up the individual final 10, and they're going to get a nice shiny glass award if they're in the room. So it's quite simple. You're just going to cheer, have some fun. If you see someone up here and they're not in the room, take a pic and WhatsApp them and let them know that they've been celebrated. And let's just have some fun with it. Can we do a practice run? Actually, I want to get a selfie. Let's get a selfie. Let's look. Can we get a practice run? So just a round of applause and a cheer. Ready? Go. Okay, cool. That's good. Good. So I want that for my LinkedIn content tomorrow. My F is fame. If you didn't figure that out. Anyway, enough of the effing. So we are going into this final part where we're just going to have a bit of fun. We acknowledge the people on it, and we're going to recognise the talent in the room. So have you got a mic?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You start at 50, and then we're going to count down. Oh, not there yet. Anticipation. Okay, so we're going to start with the top 50 SDRs 2022. Here we go. Round of applause.
50, Freddie Stewart at Varicent.
Georgia Seismic.
48, Marlow Bond Calidus.
James from Databook. If you see your name, come up to the stage.
Alessandro
Come up to the stage.
Fabrizo from Leapwork.
Well done. Elliot from Cognizant.
And Lucy Donano from Attentive.
Jamie from MoveWorks.
And Maggie Thomas Hauer from
Up on the
Attentive. Get on the
Cool. Anyone in the room? Jacob Quinton from Byrne.
Anna Maria Jamascalfa from Hook.
James from Sixth Sense.
Paolo from Omniplex.
Brittany from Perkbox. Come up to the stage.
Cedric from Clavio.
Charlie from Avenio. Come up to the stage.
And Amy from Intrahive.
Louise from Demand Base.
Tina Tender from Jiminy.
Sabine from Texie.
Terry from Checkmarks.
Tiana from Zoom Info. I think she's in the room.
Hugh from Braze.
Come up to the stage.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Where are we?
Harry from Aplearn.
Harry from Aplearn. Sanjay from Sixth Sense.
Camilla from Checkout.com.
Alex from Allwyn Global.
Jonathan from Procore.
Tom Tapp from Sensob.
Olivia Green from Cladara.
Is Olivia in the room? Go on, speed it up. Callum from Salesloft.
Saskia from Peppy.
Ruth from Vimeo.
Hey, nice trip. Congratulations.
Axel from Zephyr.
I'm sorry, where are we?
Brad from Cognizant. Go on.
Dana from Braze.
Jordan from Drift.
Annabelle from Okta.
Amelia from StoryStream. Did I see her? Okay. We're doing it quick. All right, so now we are down to the final 10. So this year's top 10 SDRs, and we've got you an individual award. So if you can come up to the stage, hopefully you're in the room. Fingers crossed. Here we go. Number 10, John Adler.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well done, John. Number 9
is Lucy Shackwell from Infogrid.
She's not here. Number 8, Aaron McDonald from Fresh Relevance. Well done, mate. Good job. Good shape. Number 7
is Sam Allen from Scandit.
Thank you.
Number 6, Ella Jones from Learnaby. She was here. I saw her. She missed her fame. Number 5.
Sorry, Agajumi from Go One.
Hello, mate. Good job. Number 4, Millie Marsh from Big Tin Cam. She's not here.
Number 3 is Ben Rees from Hokodo.
Hello, mate.
Thanks.
This pitch us. Okay, so we're down to the final 2. Congratulations for everybody. Number 2 is Kerry-Ann from Hook. Not here. So this is it. This is the 4th year we've done this. Top SDR in the UK is, go on Elaine.
Congratulations, Olivia Porter from Fresh Relevance.
Congratulations. Okay, good job there. Good job, everybody. Well done. So we're going to count down the SDR managers now. Same process. You see your name, just run up to the stage, get your little envelope. And then for everybody afterwards, a couple of heads up. I'd really appreciate some video testimonials if you've had a good time with the video team in front of the awards. So count down from 50. Let's get a round of applause. Come on, it's the last one. 50, Marco from Scandit.
Number 49, Matt from Stint.
48, Tom Jones from Radar.
47 is Beth from High Spot.
46, Gabs from Hook.
45 is Matt from Trem Micro.
44, Avini from Infogrids.
Congratulations. Number 43 is Cara Dog from Seismic.
42, Gabby from Fresh Relevance.
Number 41 is Ole from Cognism.
Well done. 40, Alice from Tenable.
39, Chloe from Adverity.
38, Tom from Kalidas.
37 is Travis from Salesloft.
36, Bethany, who was at Attentive.
35, Halil from Intrahive.
34, Byrne from Pleo.
33, Ollie from Employment Hero.
32, Jamie from Deal.
Number 31 is Joe from Dynatrace.
30, Jacob from Awin.
29 is Oscar from Cladara.
28, Martin from Sixth Sense. I think he's in the room.
Number 27 is Rachel from Cognizant.
26, Joshua from Jiminy. Round of applause.
Well done.
Well done, Martin.
And number 25 is Jess from Reward Gateway.
24, Sam from Cohesity.
23, Jazz from Sourcewell.
22, Jack from Aircall.
21 is Luma from Elation.
20, Michael from Salesloft. Is he in the room?
Congratulations, very well done. Number 19 is Emily Jane from Insider.
18, Holly from Onboarder.
17 is Fraser from Unmind. Hello.
16, Dan from Birdie.
And 15 is Holly Allen from Thrive.
14, Bruno from Zoom Info.
13 is Vicky from Culture.
12, Denisa from Content Squared.
Number 11 is Ellie from Workday.
Okay, this is it. The last 10, then it's Beers. This is the 10th top SDR leader in 2022. Round of applause for Carly Pledge, Global BDM from Cloud Call.
At number 9, we've got Rob Byrne from Salesloft.
You're on it, right?
Congratulations. There you go.
Number 8, Kelly Jenkins from Go One.
Congratulations, Kelly. There you go.
Congratulations. Number 7, Jake Appleton from Sofa.
Hi. Congratulations. There you go. At number 6, we've got Grace Corby from Hakodo.
Well done.
Well done, Grace.
This year's top 5 SDR leader, Philipp from Connaught.
Well done, Philipp. At number 4, Andy Laws from Brave.
Look at that stride. What a man. What a man.
You look like a winner when you came in. Congratulations.
All right, this year's top 3, number 3, Annie Ellis from Omniplex. Well done.
Well done. Congratulations, Annie. There you go. Woo!
She's done this before. She's done this before. Number 2, Tony Redman from Trintech. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Well done, Tony. Okay, this year's number 1, honestly, I've just heard so much good stuff about her and her team in the back channel, and it's the back channel as I call it, and it's no surprise. Her SDR was listed as the top SDR. It's been a team effort this year, so big round of applause for this year's top SDR leader, Ellie Emerson.
Congratulations. Number 1. Yeah.
Amazing. Huge kudos to everyone that was featured this year. And I just want to congratulate all of you for coming along on a Thursday night. I just want to thank everybody that's been supporting, all the sponsors. Let's just have a round of applause for yourselves. One round of applause. Congratulations.